from the scene here. The 75 lap class, that always sets the tone. 17 cars in that. That always gets hot and heavy early. And then FS1 through Speed Weeks, Race Hub. Thursday, the duels. The field will be set for that today. And then next Sunday, the Daytona 500 on Fox. Well, Chase Elliott now in the 9 car this year, going to try and win his 3rd straight Daytona 500 pole. Now, if he does that, he makes history as the first driver to earn 3 straight poles at the Daytona 500 in his first 3 career tries. Another famous number, another one of those changes that are going on throughout this season. We just want to bring you up to date with that. The 88, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s retirement, so that iconic number goes to Alex Bowman. And the legendary 24, captained once by our own Jeff Gordon, is now William Byron in that driver's seat. We mentioned Chase Elliott, Bill Elliott, of course, the famous number 9. So back in the Elliott family, Ryan Blaney was 21 with the Wood brothers. Now, Team Penske, he's in the 12, and Eric Jones takes over from Matt Kenseth in the 20 with Joe Gibbs and Toyota Racing. Coming up, we'll get you set for the 40 cars that are entered for the Daytona 500. We'll hear from defending champ Martin Truex Jr.
Some things should never change, like the crisp, cold refreshment of Busch. But some things should, like John's lack of awareness. Main menu.
To hear the options again, press 4.
Main menu.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. To make a payment,
Representative.
To hear the options
Representative.
again. Sorry, I didn't quite get that. Let's
Speak to a representative.
What are the last
give me the phone.
digits of your
Representative.
Social Security?
Time and place.
Introducing the new 2018 Ford F-150 with best-in-class towing, best-in-class payload, and best-in-class torque. The F-150 lineup has the capability to get big things to big places big time. And things just got bigger. F-150 is now Motor Trend's 2018 Truck of the Year. This is the new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, pal. It is the bar.
Did you know pain is caused by aggravated nerves? Aspercreme with lidocaine is revolutionary relief. In just minutes, it desensitizes your aggravated nerves to block pain with no odor or irritation. Aspercreme with lidocaine. Relieve the nerves, stop the pain.
If we can't get this truck fixed, we'll never get to town.
There's just got to be a fast way to get us some money.
What do you think you're saying?
Only there was some kind of advance we could get on our tax refund.
You could get an interest-free refund advance of up to $3,000 the day you file at Block.
H&R Block.
Smoky Mountain barbecue, fried chicken so crispy and sweet. That crispy fried chicken. All right, stop, I can't do this. I thought if I dressed up like a country music legend, it would help KFC sell my delicious new Smoky Mountain barbecue. Try it in the tenders basket for just $4.99.
My heart's a racing. Let's go chase her down. Don't you wanna see just what this love can do?
If I go down, so will you.
You still think you know what I will and won't do? Harvey, I'm going to make miracles happen.
Returns Thursday, March 1st on Fox.
Now we're talking.
Logano, Larson, Blaney, and Suarez. For the rest of you, better luck next week.
Build your team before the Daytona 500 and you can win $5,000.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Those who live up to their names make one for themselves. Goodyear, more driven. Live from Daytona. It was emotional. It was a great success story for Martin Truex Jr., driver of the 78. We're going to see him try and qualify for the front row of the Daytona 500. A proud performance, and we're proud to welcome Regan Smith to our broadcast crew on Fox and NASCAR. Welcome, Regan.
Hey, Chris, thank you. Martin, you have been everywhere since Homestead last year, Miami. You've been to the Super Bowl. You've been all over the place touring with this championship. How has that felt, and what's it feel like to get back to the racetrack as a champion finally?
It's felt good. It's been very busy all season. Not much of an off season, but it's been exciting and a lot going on. And I don't know that it feels any different. I guess I'd probably feel less pressure right now coming to Daytona than I ever have. I feel more relaxed and more confident, and hopefully that'll turn into some more results this season.
Chris, he's looking for his first 500 here in just a little bit. Looking forward to this.
All right, thank you, Regan. And what kind of speeds do you think we're going to see today in that pole qualifying?
The crew chiefs in the garage area think somewhere around 195 miles an hour might be the pole. And that means, Chris, when they go down to the corners, could tick 200 miles per hour. It'd be fun to watch.
And Martin Truex Jr. giving Toyota their Sprint Cup, or I should say Monster Energy Cup championship, but still searching Toyota for their first Daytona 500 pole in this, what will be their 12th try. And we'll have more from Daytona in just a moment. Did I say?
Don't stop me now. If you wanna have a good time, just give me a call. Don't stop me, don't stop me, don't stop me. Hey, hey, hey. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Have a good time, good time. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Don't stop me. Have a good time. Don't stop me. Yes, I'm having a good time. I don't wanna stop at all.
The all-new 2018 Camry. Toyota. Let's go places.
This is where the big dogs come to play. 3 days of canine competition to decide who will be top dog.
That was fun.
The Masters Agility Championship, today at 2 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Then continue watching the Westminster Dog Show tomorrow and Tuesday on FS1.
Paul's been having a difficult time of late.
Bring home a bigger bed and have more room to stretch for less. Because right now, it's the big price drop at Mattress Firm. For the first time ever, we've dropped the price of a king to a queen and the price of a queen to a twin. Across every brand. So you can enjoy a bigger bed for bigger savings. The big price drop. King for the price of a queen, queen for the price of a twin. Across every brand. Your budget stretches further at Mattress Firm.
Mom and Dad got a new car with the extra third row seats. They think it's theirs. Look at them. They have no idea. It's not theirs. It's mine. 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 Mine.
The new RX 350L with 3 rows for 7 passengers.
Are you excited about your baby sister coming?
Experience space for the unexpected with the Lexus RXL, part of the RX family. See Hendrick Lexus Charlotte and Hendrick Lexus Northlake.
Want to ride with me to the library? Nah, I've got my own ride. I have penguins! I got traps. I have a bird's eye view!
Hello there. Let's count all of the gas stations we shall pass.
I'm gonna detail my car.
Don't be a grouch. Drive a Chrysler Pacifica, a proud sponsor of Sesame Street. Now get $2,000 combined cash allowance, plus Nissan, Honda, Toyota, or Kia owners get $1,000 bonus cash on the 2017 Pacifica.
Still time to get your tickets for the 60th running of the Daytona 500. Be part of the special anniversary. Go to Daytona500.com or call 1-800-PIT-STOP. It's been 18 years since the pole sitter of the Daytona 500 actually won the Daytona 500. That was Dale Jarrett, who sits on the pole for next Sunday's race. You'll find out. 40 cars entered. They're on the grid. They're ready to roll, and so are we if you stay with us.
Oh, manatees, a.k.a. the sea cow. Oh, there's one.
Manatees in novelty teas? Surprising.
What's come at me, bro?
Did somebody say to a friend?
What's not surprising? How much money Matt saved by switching to Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
So from the 2 trucks over here, I want you to pick a new truck for your mom or dad, knowing that they could possibly pass it down to you one day. But before you decide, you should know that Chevy Silverados are the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups on the road. Which means that Ford F-150s are not. Which truck did you pick?
The Chevy. The Chevy? The Chevy.
There you go.
That was obvious. Plus looks cooler.
No doubt about it. Now they know what to get me.
Guys, is this you? Busting out of your pants, out of shape, no energy or drive? Then you need Nutrisystem Turbo for Men. Now with all new high high-protein NutriPro shakes.
I lost 120 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall in your first month. Money back guaranteed. Order on turboferment.com and get NutriCurve bars and NutriPro shakes to help shrink your belly. Plus, turbo boosters to rev your metabolism, all free. You eat the food, you lose the weight. Go to turboferment.com and get Nutrisystem Turbo Ferment with bars, shakes, and boosters free.
Oh, that was late.
Hey guys, this week the 6 on my team are Truex, Logano, Larson, Blaney, Chase, and Suarez. For the rest of you, better luck next week.
She's missing out, dude. Yeah. The new NASCAR Fantasy Live. Build your team before the Daytona 500 and you could win $5,000.
It's Big Game Saturday on Fox. A doubleheader with the nation's best. First, number 4 Michigan State takes on Northwestern. And then, the Big East Game of the Year. Number 1 Villanova battles number 5 Xavier. The doubleheader starts at 2 Eastern on Fox.
Daytona 500 pole qualifying is sponsored by Chevy. Chevy has earned J.D. Power Dependability Awards for cars, trucks, and SUVs. And by Credit One Bank, the efficient credit card of NASCAR. Drivers hopping in the cars. There's your defending champ, Martin Truex Jr. Good hearing from him. Ready to roll in his Toyota Camry. It's pole day. Michael Waltrip, Chris Myers will be watching along with you. We head up to the booth. Mr. Hendrick and 6-time champ Jimmy Johnson. Our champs, Jeff Gordon, Darrell Waltrip. Let's head upstairs. Mike, I think, Mike, you and I are the only ones who haven't won a Daytona 500 in this group. But it's good to be here anyway.
Well, we've done 17 of them, Chris. I guess maybe you could add those up and they'd count for a win. Of course, Darrell won 1 and Jeff won 3. But today, it's about being the fastest for 1 lap and doing it twice. How big is it to sit on the front row for this race?
Well, certainly that's a big deal. You know, it locks you in. You don't have to worry about those qualifying races. But you know what I always think about qualifying? Surprises. Because some drivers are going to go out here and they're going to be thrilled with the run they had. Jeff's others are going to go out here and they're going to be a little disappointed with the run they had. So I just like the surprises of qualifying.
Well, the front row is locked in today. However, the rest of the field is set for the duels on Thursday.
Yeah, when I think of the Daytona 500, of course we all highlight how special this race is and historical. And the drivers that win the pole today, or driver that wins or gets the front row, they're going to give credit to the team, all the hard work over the offseason. But on race day for the Daytona 500, when you leave this field to green, that's a very special opportunity and feeling.
All right, well, let's hear from a driver who certainly knows the way to victory lane here. Here's Jamie Little.
Well, so many changes here in Daytona, and finally it's time for Daytona 500 qualifying. Kurt, with the no ride height, everything else going on underneath these race cars, what is this lap going to be like for you?
It'll still be somewhat calm, but it's mainly once we get into the draft with these stiffer springs and no ride height, that's when you're going to see the big dramatic difference. But for qualifying, should be about the same. It won't be too far on edge, but it's just great to just be back at the track, about ready to go lay down a lap and go for a Daytona 500 qualifier. It's really an exciting time for our sport to jump back in, get going, and hopefully we'll lay down a good lap with our Ford.
All right, Kurt Busch defending Daytona 500 winner.
The cars will qualify today in the inverse order of practice speed, slowest to fastest. Greg Galding was scheduled to be our first qualifier in Ron Devine's BK Racing number 23. That car has not come out to the line from the inspection area. So Corey LaJoie, third-generation racer. His granddad, Don, the modified champ many times at Danbury, Connecticut Race Arena. His dad, Randy, champion of what was the NASCAR Busch Series, now the Xfinity Series, a couple of times over. And so here is Corey, who had a partial schedule last year and now drives the Schuler Systems number 72 in the hopes of earning a good spot in the 500.
I love what his dad does with seats. His dad really has done a great job of developing and making seats safer for all the drivers. So Randy was an interesting dude to race with. I raced with him quite a bit back in the day.
Yeah, me too, in the Busch Grand National Series.
LaJoie will be in his second Daytona 500, 48.37 is the lap of record for Corey LaJoie. Let's meet another former Daytona 500 winner, a two-time winner, Larry McReynolds.
Yeah, what we're going to do, we're going to go to our Ford Performance Cutaway car. You heard Jamie Little ask Kurt Busch about the no ride height. For the first time here at Daytona, they're dropping these cars down in the rear. You look at the rear spoiler on the back of the car. Last year, it was 4.5 inches tall. NASCAR knew with dropping the back of that race car that the straightaway speeds were going to be up, so they added a 1/2 inch, so the same width as a year ago, but a 1/2 inch taller. Still, when we get to the duels in the Daytona 500, drafting, I promise you, well over 200 miles per hour.
Yeah, and I think what we're going to see here today is a faster pole speed than we saw a year ago, even with a 1/2 inch taller rear spoiler.
Oh, yeah, the back of these cars are so low, I can't, the bumper almost drags the ground.
Mark Thompson on track, 66 years old, from Cartersville, Georgia. That's no typo. Longtime late model and ARCO racer. Phoenix Air is his company. He owns a fleet of jets that haul equipment for the U.S. military up there out of Cartersville. He has 2 starts in what's now the Monster Energy Series of NASCAR. Pocono 1992 and Talladega in 2017. He was in yesterday's ARCA 200 here at Daytona.
Well, see, you had to find a driver to match the car number. And so that's how he got that ride.
You used to run number 66, didn't you?
You want to get back out there, yeah, there's your chance.
You know, I love when Mike Joy looks at me like that. He said, he can't tell if that's the truth or not.
The racetrack.
No, just kidding.
The racetrack a little bit. You know, we're going to see some sparks. Some of these cars bottoming out. And that may have been what happened right there going into turn 3. May have bottomed out and sent the car up the racetrack.
Mark Thompson's Ford, 48-26. Talking it over, the Hendrick teammates, before they make their runs.
And the wolf huffed and puffed.
Like you do sometimes, Grandpa?
Well, when you have COPD, it can be hard to breathe. It can be hard to get air out, which can make it hard to get air in. So I talked to my doctor. She said,
Sympacort could help you breathe better, starting within 5 minutes. Sympacort doesn't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden symptoms. Sympacort helps provide significant improvement of your lung function. Sympacort is for COPD, including chronic bronchitis and emphysema. It should not be taken more than twice a day. Sympacort contains formoterol. Medicines like formoterol increase the risk of death from asthma problems. Sympacort may increase your risk of lung infections, osteoporosis, and some eye problems. You should tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it.
Sympacort could mean a day with better breathing. Watch out, Piggy.
Get Sympacort free for up to 1 year. Visit SaveOnSympacort.com today to learn more. If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
Smoky Mountain Barbecue. Fried chicken so crispy and sweet. That crispy fried chicken. All right, stop. I can't do this. I thought if I dressed up like a country music legend, it would help KFC sell my delicious new Smoky Mountain Barbecue. Try it in the tenders basket for just $4.99.
So Dave here is taking the family up to the lake for the weekend, but without the white knuckles this time. Because his new 2018 Ford F-150 has bliss with trailer coverage. It's Brainiac smart. Not only does it watch your F-150's blind spots, it's got your trailer covered too. Just another reason why Ford F-Series is America's best-selling truck for 41 straight years. This is the new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, pal. It is the bar.
Must be hard being a first responder.
The way to survive the job is to find a way to cope with the ones you lose. But when you actually save someone, there is no better feeling in the world. Over 33 million people made 911 a hit.
We have to get her to the hospital.
Missed a heart-pounding second.
I am going to get you out of here, I swear on my life.
Before 911 returns Wednesday, February 28th. Catch the first 6 episodes on Fox Now or Hulu.
Chris Buescher completing his run. Driver from Prosper, Texas, had that big win at Pocono in 2016. JTG Doherty Racing. Teammate to A.J. Allmendinger, whose car just rolled out onto pit road. to make his qualifying run. Jamie?
And Bubba Wallace, officially the newest driver and the only driver full-time now in the 43. What's the reaction going to be like if you get the Daytona 500 pole today?
It's good.
I want to see what the reaction would be.
Oh, the reaction? Let me get my Coke open right quick. Yes! Okay. I just got the pole for the Daytona 500. Just like that.
This guy.
Hopefully it doesn't jinx it.
You think you have a chance?
Absolutely. With the guys I got behind me and the car we brought here, the new Chevy Camaro Z01, click and close on the hood, I think we had a good combination. I mean, 43 is a pretty good number here. Just throwing that out there. So hopefully we can follow that up. And we're looking for a good year. Aside from this weekend alone, I'm so excited about this. This is so cool.
Good luck.
Bubba Wallace earned the ride in the King's Chariot, now a Chevrolet, last year a Ford. And finishing up his run, this is David Gilliland from Riverside, California. He's now the middle in a three-generation driver family. His dad, Butch, was a standout in Winston West. Boy, his son Todd is tearing him up in NASCAR's K&N Series and moving on up.
It won't be long before we see him in NASCAR at the elite levels.
Yes, sir. That kid has got talent.
David, a former Daytona 500 pole sitter. Well, here's our series champion, Martin Truex. Piled up all those stage points, cruised into Homestead, and held off all comers to win the Monster Energy Series championship. Defeating Kyle Busch in the four-man runoff for the title, celebrating with Sherry Pollux. Crew Chief Cole Pern. Got to hoist the big trophy. That thing's heavy.
That thing is beautiful, too. What a trophy.
I don't know how you build a trophy case for that.
Goodness gracious.
Stand the weight at home.
37 years old from Mayetta, New Jersey, and I would have to say that was one of the most popular championship wins in NASCAR in a long, long time. Jamie?
And you saw his longtime girlfriend, Sherry Pollux, celebrating with him. As we've documented, and many people have been following her second battle for cancer. On this past Tuesday, she had her final round of chemo. So I asked Martin how she's doing. He said she feels great. Well, she actually texted me this morning. She's at the racetrack. She's in the bus. Said she's not feeling well, usually for about a week, but she hopes to be out here cheering on her man next weekend for the Daytona 500.
Martin Truex, pole sitter for this race, driving for Chip Ganassi Racing in 2009. Finished runner-up 2 years ago in the closest 500 finish in history.
Let me tell you something. When he left pit road, he didn't leave anything on the table. He wound that baby up all the way to hitting the chip when he was out of the pits.
You can see the tracker down the left corner of our screen. He's definitely in the green, so this is going to be a nice run. I don't think it's going to be a pole run. They've been struggling with speed here this weekend so far.
He won 8 races last year en route to the championship, and he is quickest. 47 seconds flat, 191.5.
Now, we saw in practice some teams getting down to mid 46 seconds that we believe were making some qualifying runs. Of course, once you go through the inspection
room of doom. Yeah, it's going to be the room of doom as long as it's there.
Changes things a lot.
All right, now Jamie McMurray's #1 Chevrolet has had some issues getting through inspection. Matt Yoakum.
Mike, 5 different inspection stations in 2018. The one car, McMurray, had issues going through the optical scan station, and simply the first trip through, they had an issue on the right front. They repaired that. Bondo sanded it down and then put a wrap on that. They went through again. Then they had issues with the rear glass and the deck lid. Adjusted that, just went through. Officials Brad Houck and John Sacco looked at the scans. They were green, gave him the clean bill of health. They're pushing the car out to pit road.
So McMurray will get a chance to qualify. Here's A.J. Allmendinger from Los Gatos, California. One of the sport's top road racers. Has a best starting spot in the 500 of 15th. 4 different times for 3 different teams. Richard Petty, Roger Penske, and his current team, JTG Doherty.
If he could get some of the energy he has and transfer that into that race car, that thing is about 400 miles an hour. But he is an energetic little guy. He gets it done.
And you can see as these teams and drivers pull this car off pit road, they're going to run wide, get as much momentum as possible until they get to the start-finish line. But when they're on the lap, like you see here, riding along with A.J. Allmendinger, right on that yellow line, the shortest route possible, but you got to hold a really steady wheel to keep as little drag in the car as possible.
Again, the round one qualifying order is seeded by practice speeds, slowest to fastest. So we expect each run to be quicker than one before it. Allmendinger not quite, 47.14 is his lap. That's 190.9.
Well, he and Boucher are just right there together, though. 47.09 on Boucher and then 47.14 on Allmendinger. So two pretty equally prepared cars, I might say.
Jamie McMurray buckling in. Austin Dillon ready to go. Charlotte winner from last year. 7-time. Jimmy Johnson says he's in the best shape he's ever been in going into this season.
That's saying a lot for Jimmy Johnson.
that would scare me, because I'm telling you, he's one tuned-up dude.
I think that season that they had last year, he, Chad Knaus, that whole 48 team, I think that fired them up. I think they have kind of reinvented the way that they're going to go about things this year over at Hendrick.
Hello, Newman. That just never gets old.
Nope.
Ryan Newman from South Bend, Indiana, former sprint car racer, moved over to NASCAR and Team Penske, where he had a best Daytona 500 starting spot of 7th. That was the year he won it, 2008. He then moved to Stewart-Haas Racing, and for the last 4 years has been at Richard Childress Racing that fields this Chevrolet.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how he and his other teammates perform, because they had some pretty fast practice speeds yesterday, the RCR cars did. So I'm going to be really interested watching how close the 31 here, the 3, even the 43, you know, that's an Alliance car. So it'll be interesting to see how they run.
Well, and he knows what it's like to win a Daytona 500, too. He did it back in 06.
Yeah, you know who pushed him? His teammate.
08.
Yeah, his teammate, Kurt Busch, pushed him to that win.
Richard Childress Racing was a 3-car team last season. They have downsized to 2 cars for Austin Dillon and Ryan Newman. As you said, Richard Petty Motorsports moved from Ford to Chevrolet with a full alliance with Richard Childress Racing.
That's a decent lap. That's not a pole lap, but that's a pretty good lap, 46.81.
Boy, is this a view? I mean, you want to know what it's like to be inside a race car 200 miles per hour, even in qualifying mode, up against the wall, watching those hands move the car, bouncing, pretty rigid suspension that they've got in these cars this year to get that ride down as low as possible. We're going to have a lot of fun watching this view.
That year that he pushed Ryan Newman to victory, Busch started last, his best starting spot 3rd in 2011, and he told us a great story last night at dinner. The way he got to the Cup Series was the hard way. He earned it. And the story starts with a name, Ray Judy, West Coast NASCAR official, who told Jack Roush, you need to look at this kid. He's tearing him up in Vegas. They invited Busch to one of those Roush gong shows at Toledo Speedway. He had the fastest laps, but he burned up his tires. Still, that got him an invite to Phoenix for round 2 of the gong show, and he defeated all comers and got the ride in the Truck Series with Roush, went on to the Cup Series and to a championship.
He's going to go to the pole right here in this lap also.
46.67.
A little bit better. A lot better. A couple of tenths over Newman. Yeah.
192.8 for the defending 500 winner.
Jeff, what do you think the pole will be? What do you think 46 what?
Yeah, I'm going to say 30 or, well, it depends on if we're talking about the pole, because once they go out that second time, they're going to get faster. Everything gets heated up, the oils and everything. So, yeah, probably 20s or 30s, 46, 20s or 30s,
yeah,
my guess.
I think in the 20s, 46-20.
NASCAR's most successful female driver ever, Danica Patrick, reunited with her longtime sponsor. And her final NASCAR race will be next Sunday's Daytona 500. But here's 7-time Jimmy Johnson for Hendrick Motorsports and crew chief Chad Knaus. They've been together his entire Cup career. And wondering, even as this career continues and the drive for 8 begins, does Jimmy Johnson get enough credit for what he has accomplished in view of his place among the all-time greats of this sport?
Well, we'll debate this a lot, right, guys, because we might not truly be able to respect it until 10 years from now. Who knows how long it may be, but, boy, what he's accomplished is unbelievable.
Another good lap. That's really good right there, 46.42.
Wow, that drops the fast time by 1/4 of a second.
Yeah, we're getting there now.
2-time pole winner for the 500 and a 2-time winner of the Great American Race. Kevin Harvick all smiles And here comes Chase Elliott, who won the pole for Hendrick Motorsports in both of his Daytona 500 appearances to date. They did a little reshuffling over there in Concord, North Carolina, and the number 9 that his dad, Bill Elliott, made famous became available, and that is now Chase Elliott's number.
And you know, the last time the 9 sat on the pole here, I think it was back in 2001 with his dad. That's when Bill was driving for Ray Abraham, if I remember correctly.
So you got a bunch of Hall of Famers involved here.
Now that 9 number, Bill Elliott's got 38 wins in that with the 9, and Casey Kane's got 11, and Marcus Ambrose got 2. The brothers, Thompson, Donald, and Herb, they each have 1 win in the 9 car. But that's been the family number of this of Chase and his dad for that family for a long time.
One of the favorites to perhaps win the pole here today. Well, second, 46.53.
That must be a really cool feeling to be in that 9 car representing his family. That's the number that he won the championship in the Xfinity Series. I think it's so cool to have him back in this 9.
A lot of history there. Elliott family history. Kyle Larson. We all got asked by Fox PR our pre-season picks for the championship. I said he'll be named Kyle, which kind of gives me a Quinella. Will it be Larson or Busch? I don't know. But, boy, he had a great season last year for Chip Ganassi. Now, he's run 4 Daytona 500s with a best start of 14, a best finish of 7th. But every time this young fella gets into a race car, he is learning and maturing and, by the way, winning.
He's spectacular behind the wheel. He knows how to win. He knows how to get more out of the race car. And a lot of people could tell you that he's probably one of the most talented race car drivers behind the wheel out there in this field.
I just like his confidence. He has a lot of confidence. He and Chad Johnson, his crew chief, they seem to march to their own drum, do their own thing.
5th, 46.81. Larson also does a lot of short track racing away from the Cup Series when his schedule permits.
Oh, here we go, boys.
Sparks flying.
Yeah, light them up. This could be a big pole run right here, or at least the fastest in this session.
Yep. Alex Bowman from Tucson, Arizona, another young driver who worked his way to the Cup Series.
Love the story. I mean, this is a kid that cut his teeth early quarter midgets and you know, midgets and sprint cars, and finally got that chance to make it big time. Didn't that part of his career maybe, you know, didn't go as well, but boy, he has got an opportunity of a lifetime here, filling in for Dale Earnhardt Jr., retired last year.
Yeah. This 88 car, though, this number 88, Dale Jarrett won 28 times in that car. I won 26. Dale Jr. won 9. Bobby Allison won 8. And Buddy Baker won 3 times driving the 88 car.
Look down here. Look how much faster he is than fellow teammate Jimmy Johnson in the green by almost 0.2 of a second right now.
We saw that in practice. That car was fast.
Whoa!
46.18.
A lot faster than I expected.
Take it to the top.
Almost 195 miles per hour. And Rick Hendrick right now owns the first 3 spots in Daytona 500 pole qualifying. Jamie?
Well, the 2013 Daytona 500 pole sitter was this woman, Danica Patrick. Next to last weekend, that we'll see you in a NASCAR stock car. What are the emotions and feelings heading into the final weekend?
I feel good. I mean, I think that the one difference is that I showed up for a big race weekend, the biggest of the year for stock cars, with a new team, but I had a lot of familiar faces, one in particular, of course, being Tony Eury Jr., so he's what's making me feel really, really comfortable about the whole program and, you know, being competitive. So I liked him since the first day I met him, so it's good to have him back. And I think we'll be all right. The car field felt pretty good in the draft the other day, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I feel good. I mean, the idea of leaving here and having months off versus like the next 39 weeks straight is like not a bad feeling.
Well, Danica Mania started about 14 years ago, and many of those years were in GoDaddy Green. It's good to see her back in it, Mike.
Yep, NASCAR's most successful female driver ever. This is the first of the Danica doubles. She'll race the Daytona 500 and the Indy 500. Casey Kane, who was with Hendrick Motorsports last year, moves to Levine Family Racing, 46.69.
That's a good lap.
He's half a second off of the pole right now, but that's because Bowman is just blowing him all the way so far.
Yeah, he's in the another zip code. Bowman is.
Look at him playing the drum. I'm telling you, this guy has got some incredible talent and a heck of a personality. Don't you wish you could do that, DW?
I could do that, but it wouldn't sound like that.
That is Darrell Wallace Jr., who, was not named for Darrell Waltrip and Rusty Wallace. He was named for his dad. And his sister gave him the nickname Bubba the day he was born.
Wow. Well, he's a fun kid.
So Bubba racing for the king, Richard Petty. Had 4 starts in this car last year, subbing for injured Eric Almirola. And he is 8th fastest at 46.93 in Richard Petty's Chevrolet.
Second winningest number all time.
Go! Yes! Nice play! You're still buffering. What happened? Hey, Joey. You should let your new pals know that according to a leading independent study, the most awarded network is now best in streaming.
I think you just did.
You both can get a much better view of the game from the iPhone on Verizon Unlimited. Thanks.
Hey, Thomas, where'd you fly?
Someone stole my watch. Hey.
Unlimited is only as good as the network it's on, so get the best Unlimited on the most awarded network. And right now, when you buy iPhone 8, you'll get one on us.
Engineered to perform. Designed to protect. Ready for any challenge. Nothing beats WeatherTech.
May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds change and shift. May your heart always be joyful.
Long live the helpers. And long live the trucks that give you the strength to do more.
Now get an average $9,609 in total values on the 2018 Ram 3500 Limited Crew Cab with a Cummins diesel engine.
Allergy congestion makes you feel trapped. Break through with Allegra D 5-in-1 Relief. It works fast, has a non-drowsy antihistamine, and a powerful decongestant. Break through allergy congestion with Allegra D.
Some things should never change, like the crisp, cold refreshment of Busch. But something should, like Mike's aim.
Mike, toss me a Busch. Wow.
Good effort.
Daytona 500 pole qualifying is sponsored by Crisp Cold Busch.
15 drivers have now taken time, including Jeffrey Earnhardt, Dale Earnhardt's grandson. Kerry Earnhardt's son continues a 40-year tradition of an Earnhardt in the 500, and he is 13th of 16 right now. From Canada, Gaunt Brothers Racing, 2-time champ of the Canadian NASCAR Pinty Series, DJ Kennington checks in. He is 12th fastest. Alex Bowman, fastest so far in round 1.
Dustin. Hey, Dustin. Grab a seat. Okay. Nice to meet you. Have you ever had car trouble in a place like this?
Yes, it was like the worst experience of my life.
7 lanes of traffic, and I was in the second lane.
When I get into my car, I want to know it's going to get me from point A to point B.
Well, then I have some good news. Chevy's the only brand to receive JD Power Dependability Awards for cars, trucks, and SUVs 2 years in a row.
I definitely feel like I'm in a dependable vehicle right now. I want a Chevy now. I know.
Oh, that was late.
Hey guys! This week, the 6 on my team are Truex, Logano, Larson, Blaney, Chase, and Suarez. For the rest of you, better luck next week.
She's missing out, dude. Yeah. The new NASCAR Fantasy Live. Build your team before the Daytona 500, and you could win $5,000.
There's something out there for you and me. And the American road is calling. So what's it gonna be? Hey, it's an American.
meal of the day is rarely perfect. It's not always sunny side up. Sometimes you can't afford to skip it. And sometimes you eat it for dinner. But as long as it's fresh, you're serving it right. That's why at Food Lion, we make fresh food affordable for everyone. Food Lion, how refreshing.
Outside the Roosevelt, in the shadows of Washington Peak, at the Polk Trailhead, or wading through the Madison River. Flex your freedom the way all of our great presidents intended at the Jeep President's Day event. Hurry in for great deals. During the President's Day sales event, financing at $4,500 total cash allowance or 0% APR for 5 years on the 2018 Cherokee.
Fox 46 Charlotte, your home for the Daytona 500.
42-year-old Brendan Gaughan from Las Vegas told me last night racing was his vocation. Now it's his vacation. This is his second try for the 500 with Beard Motorsports. For Gaughan, he is 12th fastest. This is Matt DiBenedetto, 26 from Grass Valley, California. DiBenedetto 13th on his qualifying lap in a Ford. And here's Jamie McMurray out of Missouri, former 500 winner. He did that in 2010, started third in the great race last year for Chip Ganassi.
They did a little body work on that maybe earlier, but it looks like it turned out pretty well. 8 quick. It's not really bad. It's not too bad a lap. See here, they're working on that right front fender.
Yeah, that new optical scanning system that they have over there, so detailed, not a lot of room for error. But obviously, after this car was on the track, they tried to go through inspection today. They had a little work to do in the right front. Great job to everybody, the team and NASCAR, getting all these cars through inspection today and on the grid.
Austin Dillon. Is he still a young gun at 27?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, he is the older of the two brothers, Mike and Tina Dillon's boys, Richard and Judy Childress' grandsons. Austin at RCR and Ty with Germain Racing. This will be Austin's 6th Daytona 500. He won the pole in 2014 and has 2 top 10 finishes.
You saw a little bit of a different line there, him sort of letting the car do its own path through that corner, not trying to pinch it off too much. We normally see him right on the yellow line. He kind of let it.
It looked to me like whatever he did, it worked pretty good.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a good lap.
Yeah, I think that's where the driver plays a role. Maybe the car just didn't want to tug. He had to tug on it too much to get it down on that yellow line. So he let it have its head a little bit.
I'm guessing right now Chevrolet is pretty happy with the performance of this new Chevrolet Camaro.
So far, so good.
4th fastest for Austin Dillon. Chevy has 9 of the top 10 spots. This is younger brother Ty Dillon, 25 years old.
Another one of our young guns.
Yep, this will be his 4th Daytona 500 for 3 different teams. His 2nd year with Germain Racing, but with a new crew chief for 2018.
Yeah, I see this alliance of Germain and RCR just getting closer and tighter, and I think you're going to start to see those cars kind of blanket one another as far as performance.
But there's just something about numbers. The more cars you got to pull information from, the better your program is, I think. Particularly with alliances, where those outside teams can try things and then feed them into you and tell you what's working, what's not working.
That number 13 was made famous here at Daytona by legendary mechanic Smokey Unick. They're still telling stories about the cars that Smokey built. All right, Ty Dillon, 12th fastest in the number 13. And here is Danica Patrick in the first half of the Danica double that will complete her racing career. The Daytona 500 and the Indy 500. She ran her first 500 in 2012 for Tommy Baldwin Racing. The next year moved to Stewart Haas Racing and won the pole and finished top 10. This will be Danica's 7th Daytona 500 start. She's racing for Premium Motorsports. Tommy Baldwin, she's reunited with as team manager, and Tony Eury Jr. is the crew chief.
I just always thought Daytona particularly was one of Danica's best racetracks.
Absolutely.
Yep. She started off well here and has been really pretty successful here through the years.
That double yellow line at the bottom of the banking and all the way around, you know what that means on the highway, no passing. Same thing there. You have to stay above that yellow line at all times or risk penalty.
We see the sparks flying up under that thing.
Yeah, they're going to try to get the back of that car down as far as possible, get that spoiler out of the air.
She's trying to stay above that yellow line on her graphic on the left and misses it by that much. The top 12 advance to round 2. Patrick is 13th by less than 100th of a second.
Alexa, show me the front door.
Oh, doll, I'd love to, but I'm actually super busy with important humanitarian work right now, so I'm so sorry, but I can't. You could, it's only just over there, isn't it? You could just walk over and show your own front door.
I'm coming.
Thanks, Rebel, but I'll take it from here.
Need fast heartburn relief? Try Cool Mint Zantac. It releases a cooling sensation in your mouth and throat. Zantac works in as little as 30 minutes. Nexium can take 24 hours. Try Cool Mint Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
Don't stop me now. If you wanna have a good time, just give me a call. Don't stop me, don't stop me, don't stop me. Hey, hey, hey. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Have a good time, good time. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Yes, I'm having a good time. I don't want to stop at all.
The all-new 2018 Camry. Toyota. Let's go places.
Pull together. A little left. Easy. All right. We've all got places to go.
Washington crossing the Delaware Turnpike? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Sean saved by switching to Geico.
Big man with a horn.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Allergy sufferers, a word to the wise. If symptoms at night ruin your next day, try Zysol. It relieves symptoms while you sleep and keeps relieving all day. Because Zysol's as effective at hour 24 as at hour 1. So, be Wisol. Take Zysol.
NASCAR begins with a spark that ignites the fury. These are the high bands where champions are born. NASCAR begins. Speed Weeks continues with the Can-Am Duel at Daytona. Coverage begins Thursday at 5:30 Eastern on FS1. Watch the Daytona 500 on Fox.
Logano, Larson, Blaney, and Suarez. For the rest of you, better luck next week.
Build your team before the Daytona 500 and you could win $5,000.
Daytona 500 pole qualifying is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Justin Marks making his 4th Cup start, first in the Daytona 500, an Xfinity race winner at Mid-Ohio in 2016. And Marks will clock in 18th in his Rick Ware Racing, number 51.
Climbing the banks of Daytona, nothing for Justin Marks. He's going to climb Mount Everest, I believe, next year.
Isn't that awesome?
Amazing.
Clint Boyer timed in 5th fastest. He is the fastest Ford so far. 46.65 for Stewart Haas Racing. Here's his teammate, Kevin Harvick. Started on the front row of this race in 2002 in his first Daytona 500. Harvick is second. He is the fastest Ford at 46.42. Jamie?
Well, a year ago, Daniel Suarez was getting ready to qualify for his first Cup race, the biggest race of the year. A year later, though, how do you approach this one?
Definitely much different, more relaxed, knowing what to expect, with a little bit more time to work with my team. It just feels different, honestly. Last year, obviously, was great. My first time ever in a Cup car. I was in Phoenix just a couple weeks before the Daytona 500, so I feel like this week has been a lot of different. The way that we've been approaching the week, working together, knowing what to expect. So overall, just very excited to be here, my second time, and really looking forward to put this 19 Irish Toyota Camry in the front.
He'll be one of 2 drivers carrying our Fox Visor Cam a week from today in the 500. Eric Almirola moves from Richard Petty Motorsports to Stewart Haas Racing. This will be his 8th Daytona 500. He has a best start of 11th.
I tell you what, those Stewart Haas Fords look pretty racy here, guys. That's the second. Almirola just comes in there in 5th. 7th and 8th, so those 4 cars are pretty fast.
I still think when you look back to wins on restrictor plates, the Fords have dominated. You know, even though we've seen Chevys dominate qualifying, when it comes to the race, these Fords seem to have something a little bit extra in their back pocket.
Right now, the top 12 spots are 8 Chevrolets and 4 Fords. We remind you, though, the qualifying order is based on practice speeds, slowest to fastest. Here's the 27th driver to take time out of 40. Brad Keselowski, a series champion, who qualified 7th for the 500 last year. His best start in the 500. Every one of his Daytona 500s have come for Team Penske.
Jeff, you said they had something in their back pocket. They got something under the hood. I tell you, Doug Yates and that crowd over there, they make some great engines. Restrictor plate engines.
Pretty good restrictor plate drivers in there, too.
Got that right.
Brandon Page celebrating an anniversary here this weekend.
Oh, congratulations.
Keselowski makes it into the top dozen in 10th.
So Dave here is taking the family up to the lake for the weekend, but without the white knuckles this time. Because his new 2018 Ford F-150 has bliss with trailer coverage. It's Brainiac smart. Not only does it watch your F-150's blind spots, it's got your trailer covered too. Just another reason why Ford F-Series is America's best-selling truck for 41 straight years. This is the new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, pal. It is the bar.
Do you like big juicy steak? Do you like freshly steamed lobster? Do you like the word and? Then you'll love Outback Steak and Lobster. Backed by popular demand, only $15.99. So hurry in now. Outback Steakhouse. Aussie rules.
Some things should never change, like the crisp, cold refreshment of Busch. But some things should, like Tim's impatience. Play dead or Tim.
Your heart doesn't only belong to you. And if you have heart failure, entrusting your heart to Entresto may help. Entresto is a heart failure medicine that helps improve your heart's ability to pump blood to the body. In the largest heart failure study ever, Entresto was proven superior at helping people stay alive and out of the hospital compared to a leading heart failure medicine. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren. If you've had angioedema while taking an ACE or ARB medicine, don't take Entresto. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto and help make more tomorrows possible.
Oh, that was late.
Hey guys! This week, the 6 on my team are Truex, Logano, Larson, Blaney, Chase, and Suarez. For the rest of you, better luck next week.
She's missing out, dude. Yeah. The new NASCAR Fantasy Live. Build your team before the Daytona 500, and you could win $5,000.
This will be Glendale, Arizona's Michael McDowell's first race with his new team, Front Row Motorsports. He'll be in his 7th Daytona 500. McDowell, 14th fastest. Eric Jones, the Rookie of the Year 2017, moving up to the parent team, Joe Gibbs Racing, from Furniture Row. And he'll take over the number 20. They moved Jones into that ride. And Matt Kenseth out after many seasons, and the Rookie of the Year responds. He's the fastest Toyota so far. He is 4th overall. Matt?
Mike, Kevin Harvick, and Jimmy Johnson tied with the 2nd fastest time. You got to have some big smiles. Did you generate more speed than maybe you thought you might have been able to?
It did. It generated a fair amount, a couple tenths more than I thought it would go, but that's why I drive the car and don't build them. Our Jimmy John's Ford guys have done a good job in just trying to put a lot of effort in, and I feel like we leaned more towards handling on our car and took some speed items out of it. So hopefully that's a good sign for Thursday, and obviously, you know, not qualifying on the front row, you still have to race your way into a good spot on Thursday. So it's been a good start. It's been very hectic. Everything's been jammed together, and Practices seem to have been short. I got out there when the oil was laid down yesterday, so we didn't have a lot of information on the speed of this car because it drug the ground really hard on the one run that we did. So, good start. Mike?
Kyle Busch has started 4th in the 500 4 times. Once for Rick Hendrick and 3 for Joe Gibbs. He's in a Gibbs Toyota now, coming to the stripe, trying to break into the top 12 and displace Ryan Newman. He does. He is second fastest to Alex Bowman.
Pretty good. Pretty good right there. But, you know, old Bowman, he's still got a couple of tenths on everybody else. That's a heck of a lap that kid put down.
I'm just going to be curious to see round 2, how much some of these teams pick up or how many of them stay the same. So this thing's anything but over.
Like Eric Jones, Ryan Blaney moves from satellite team the Wood Brothers to the parent team, Team Penske, which is now a 3-car operation, including the very active on social media Blaney. This will be his 4th Daytona 500. He ran here 3 times for the Wood Brothers with a best start of 7th and a best finish of 2nd. On the left, there's our Fox Visor cam with Daniel Suarez getting up to speed as Blaney rolls into turn number 3 in the 31-degree banking to complete his lap.
Blaney and Bubba Wallace. Now there's a pair. I tell you, they have
a good time,
more
don't they?
fun together. They are so entertaining. I love Blaney. He's a good little car.
I love about some of these young guys is the passion they have for racing, but the fun that they'll have off the track.
Sir. And Brad Keselowski is bumped by his new teammate Ryan Blaney, 46.57. For Blaney, that moves Casey Kane onto the hot seat for drivers advancing to round 2.
As we watch the hands of Daniel Suarez here, it's so important to be smooth with the wheel. Try not to juke it at all. Just try to keep it as smooth as possible.
So he's taking the green flag. Now he's going to sort of anticipate that banking. You see how quick, once he gets in the bank, he's got to put the wheel to it to try to keep that car right on the yellow line. And then he'll try to do the same thing, hold it, but you want to get straight as soon as possible because that's what's going to allow the car to start gaining RPM.
Jeff, it almost looked like he threw the car into that first turn. He had to get in there so quick.
In order to run that yellow line, that's what you have to do. You have to feed a lot of wheel into it as soon as the car gets in the banking. I just love how, because of this shot, you see the bumps and how the car is bouncing around. That's his head bouncing with every bump he goes over.
The 26-year-old from Monterrey, Mexico for Joe Gibbs Racing. 3rd fastest, 46.41.
Nice.
And that will bump Casey Kane out of the top dozen, who would advance to round 2.
It went from all these Chevrolets. Now we got Chevrolet, Toyota, Ford.
It's a nice mix, though. I mean, it really, if you look at our top 10, it's pretty balanced out right now between all 3 manufacturers.
Kurt Busch is on the hot seat now for 12th place. Here is Trevor Bayne for Roush Fenway Racing. The 2011 Daytona 500 winner from Knoxville, Tennessee. Started 11th, his career best in the 500 last year.
I love that day he won that race. I mean, had no idea he was going to win that race. He drove his pickup truck down here. He didn't even have clothes to go to New York with. They had to go buy clothes that night, left his truck, and went to New York to celebrate.
Can you imagine how your life would just change in that instant moment? And you're driving your truck down to Daytona. Next thing you know, you're off to New York to celebrate and go on all the big TV shows that you won the Daytona 500.
All right, Bayne's got work to do if he's going to knock Kurt Busch out of the top dozen. Close, 46.78, but the time to beat is 46.67. More of these young guns to come, including Xfinity champ and Hendrick Motorsports rookie William Byron.
Smoky Mountain barbecue, fried chicken so crispy and sweet. That crispy fried chicken. All right, stop. I can't do this. I thought if I dressed up like a country music legend, it would help KFC sell my delicious new Smoky Mountain barbecue. Try it in the tenders basket for just $4.99.
When back pain slows you down, trust the Icy Hot for powerful relief.
The Icy Hot Patch. Powerful relief for backs, shoulders, even arthritis. Goes on icy to dull pain, hot to relax it away.
So you're back to full speed.
Icy Hot. Power past pain.
The modern man values craftsmanship. confidence, and hard work. At Joseph A. Bank, we create classic menswear tailored for the modern man. Because looking good is a tradition that never goes out of style.
Hello. Hi. How's it going?
All right, how you doing?
Welcome. So, this is the all-new Chevy Traverse. What do you think?
This looks better than 99% of the SUVs out there.
It's very modern, sleek.
Maybe the most impressive part of the all-new Traverse is what's on the inside.
I missed you guys. I haven't seen you guys in so long.
What's happening?
We flew her out. It's a family car. We had to put your family in it.
Yeah, it gets 7 thumbs up.
When skin gets dry, it shows. Gold Bond Radiance Renewal is made for visibly dry skin. Gently exfoliates, then coconut oil, shea, and cocoa butters moisturize to help prevent dry skin all day. Gold Bond Radiance Renewal. Ultimate lotion. Ultimate skin.
Roger, we've been in Mexico for 2 weeks.
Think I found Rick.
If you missed an episode of League 11,
That, my friend, is how I roll.
watch anytime, on demand, or Fox Now.
If I go down, so will you.
Gotham returns Thursday, March 1st on Fox.
Now we're talking.
Tonight, join Bob Woodruff live. Explore North Korea's role in what promises to be global politics' biggest stage. Inside North Korea, live from the games. Tonight at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, only on National Geographic.
Watch out for this one. Expect anything different?
Daytona 500 pole qualifying is sponsored by the 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar. And by Credit One Bank. Find out if you're pre-qualified for a Platinum credit card.
Paul Menard moves from Richard Childress Racing to the Wood Brothers Ford for 2018, and we'll try to get that storied team their 100th NASCAR victory. He is now 6th fastest, so he will lock into round 2 in the 21 and likely have his best Daytona 500 start ever. Saturday on Fox, top 10 doubleheader, 4th-ranked Michigan against Northwestern. And then, game of the year in the Big East, Villanova visits Xavier. 2 Eastern on Fox, or stream it live on Fox Sports Go. David Reagan for Front Row Motorsports went out. This will be his 6th try for the 500 for Front Row. He went out, but the Georgia driver did not come up to speed and is coasting back to pit road. Now, we have 40 entries for the Daytona 500. Everyone here will make the race next Sunday. Their starting positions, except for the front row that's decided today, will all be set Thursday night in the duels. This is round 1. The top 12 advance to round 2. Let's meet the fastest driver so far. Matt?
Mike, crew chief Greg Ives looking at his fan view. Alex Bowman, you guys have debriefed. Looking at the wins, you were the fastest car in round 1. Are you concerned about that in round 2 because it appears to be slowly picking up even more speed?
I think we'll be fine. You know, there's not much I can really do. Really just got to lean on all the guys, everybody at Hendrick Motorsports. They do such a great job at this speedway qualifying stuff. So thankful for the opportunity. Our nationwide Camaro ZL1's just been great since we unloaded. So Greg and all the guys worked hard. Engine shop worked hard. Aero group worked hard. I just get to hold the steering wheel.
And doing a great job at that. Do you try to compartmentalize, though, all the excitement to try to not let the focus maybe wander a little bit with everything that's going on for you? Taking over this car to the Daytona 500, the biggest race of the year.
Yeah, a little. You know, I didn't realize how good we were going to be when we unloaded or how fast the race car was going to be. Obviously, there are a couple guys left to go, but, you know, we definitely have a shot at the pole, and I've never had that before. So I'm living the dream. It's an absolute dream come true just to be down here with Hendrick Motorsports, but to have such a fast race car and a shot at the Daytona 500 pole is just an amazing feeling. Good luck. Thanks.
There are 5 drivers left to qualify. That means the top 7 on the left side of your screen are locked in to round 2. There are the 5 that have yet to go.
I love listening to Alex Bowman. I mean, think of that, a dream come true. This kid probably came down here at times wondering if he was even going to be in the Daytona 500, and now he's in a car that has a shot at being the pole on the pole for the Daytona 500.
Yeah, he won the pole at Phoenix, you know, in 2016. So he was talking about not being on the pole here, which is a whole lot different to being on the pole at Phoenix.
And I think, you know, for us, not a total surprise that 88 car has been on the pole for their last 2 restrictor plate races. Hendrick certainly knows what they're doing, and Greg Ives and that whole team, they do an awesome job.
Let's have a look at how important it is to get up to speed quickly, coming off pit road and coming to the green to qualify. Let's ride with Daniel Suarez. Style burnouts coming off the line.
Well, everybody has a little bit of a different style. He actually probably wanted to slip the clutch a little bit more than he did to get a better launch. It actually lugged down. You could hear the engine almost stall out. But then once he got, you know, those RPMs up, you can just hear it's all about getting to that peak RPM. The engine department will tell you exactly where you have to shift, and it's all about nailing, you know, first to second, second to third, and then that final gear to fourth.
And Mike, I know the drivers always say, I don't have a whole lot to do with the lap here. It's more about the car and the crew and everything else. But those are things that the driver has to pay close attention to. Shift points, where he runs on the racetrack, and holding that steering wheel as steady as he possibly can.
Well, especially when you look at how tight the field is. I mean, other than Alex Bowman, you start getting to second all the way down, you know, 12. It is very, very tight. So it is a detail of what the driver does that can make the difference.
Denny Hamlin took the green flag in the green. As far as our chip's concerned, he may dethrone Alex Bowman from the top shot.
That would be
one thing Hamlin has not done at Daytona: start this race on the front row.
And the way that wind's blowing, there's a chance it could increase as he gets to turn 3. But it's when he gets to turn 3 and starts to turn into that wind, how's that going to affect the lap? You can see it's starting to come down now.
I just like that, but look how smooth on that steering. He's not moving that wheel, but I think he's turning into that headwind right here. There's a bit of a headwind off turn. There's a nice tailwind down the back, but you get a headwind off of turn 4.
Hamlin, the 35th driver to take time. Alex Bowman was the 12th.
Boy, he's right there.
2/100ths of a second. Hamlin is second. That bumps Clint Boyer out of the top 12, and it moves Ryan Blaney onto the bubble for those to advance.
Fellas, we got a battle on our hands for this front row and that pole position for the Daytona 500.
Yep.
Last year's Clash winner, Joey Logano from Connecticut. For Team Penske, it'll be his 6th time in the 500 for Penske after 4 years with Joe Gibbs Racing. He started the 500 5th twice.
Well, this is a team, and we know, we documented time and time again, they didn't have the kind of year they wanted to have last year either. I know they're anxious to get this year started, correct some of the things that were wrong with that car and team last year, and get back on a roll.
And you can see Joey putting his hand in that little opening between the roll cage and that window net. What he's trying to do is just deflect a little bit of air. You want to talk about detail? That's detail. You're trying to deflect a little bit of air off the side of the car as it wraps around that rear spoiler, maybe hoping that you get 100th or 1,000th of a second out of it.
Not a bad lap, 7th quick.
So Logano will advance to round 2. 4 Fords in the top dozen right now. In fact, we're evenly split. 4 Chevys, 4 Toyotas, 4 Fords right now in the top dozen, with 2 drivers left to qualify.
Probably also a good chance they're trying to keep some air from getting inside the cockpit of the car. I think I saw where Brad Keselowski was saying something on Twitter about that. That pressure inside the car can also have an effect on the drag.
Ricky Stenhouse from Olive Branch, Mississippi. His sprint car team's been doing very well in Florida this week, and Stenhouse has been fast here.
Don't count this dude out.
I was going to say, I tell you what's been very good is this guy on restrictor plate tracks lately.
Yeah, last year was amazing for that 17 car.
Yeah, he's won 2 of the last 4 plate races. That means races at Daytona and Talladega where engines are restricted. Austin Dillon's on the bubble. He's standing on the right. 46.54 is the time to beat with 2 cars to go.
Yeah, I got some bad news for him.
Yeah, I do too. Stenhouse third.
46.31 for Ricky Stenhouse. Austin Dillon is out of the top dozen. Eric Almirola on the hot seat, and here comes our final first round qualifier. That means 38 drivers will have taken time. David Reagan went out but did not take the green flag. Gray Galding's car did not present to the line for qualifying.
Mike, look, it's Jeff.
The Flames are back.
Ah, it's Jeff.
So William Byron from Charlotte, North Carolina. His dad's Bill asked William, have you ever had a nickname? He says, no. Do I need one? I go, no. Some of the sport's greatest stars use their full name, like Richard Petty, David Pearson. Yeah.
He races online racing. He's got to have a nickname on there or something. We'll find it. But look at this. He's already matching up some of the speeds of his teammates that are all locked into the top 12 so far.
Now, Jeff, this 24 car, that's actually the 5 car, right?
Yeah, so, the 9 car is the same team that the 24 was. Alan Gustafson is the crew chief. This is Darian Grubb, the same team that Casey Kane drove for, just the numbers switched.
Eric Almirola was hoping, but no. William Byron, 4th fastest, 46.32 for the defending Xfinity champion, who is a college sophomore. And 12 drivers led by this man, Alex Bowman, will advance to round 2 and run for the Daytona 500 pole.
Long live devotion. And long live the trucks that are always right there with you.
With 1,000 truck month bonus cash, get an average $11,856 in total values on the 2018 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab.
Oh, that was late.
Hey guys, this week the 6 on my team are Truex, Logano, Larson, Blaney, Chase, and Suarez. For the rest of you, better luck next week.
She's missing out, dude. Yeah. The new NASCAR Fantasy Live. Build your team before the Daytona 500, and you can win $5,000.
It's the big price drop at Mattress Firm. For the first time ever, we've dropped the price of a king to a queen and the price of a queen to a twin across every brand. Your budget stretches further at Mattress Firm.
My premium secured.
Well done, my king.
Is my driver ready?
Of course, big brother. But you have to hurry.
Show off.
Experience luxury performance that takes the crown. Presenting the all-new Lexus LS 500. Long live the king.
See Hendrick Lexus Charlotte and Hendrick Lexus Northlake.
You know, you paid too much for your glasses.
Fault.
Nah, don't blame yourself. Just next time, go to America's Best, where 2 pairs and a free exam are just $69.95. You save on contacts there, too.
Huh. I can't believe I missed that.
Well, you can't spot them all. You think they sound like birds? I think they sound like birds. 2 pairs and a free exam for just $69.95. It's not just a better deal, it's America's Best. Hoo! Hoo! It's the big price drop at Mattress Firm. For the first time ever, we've dropped the price of a king to a queen and the price of a queen to a twin across every brand. Your budget stretches further at Mattress Firm.
Fox 46, your home for the Daytona 500, February 18th.
Michael Waltrip, Chris Myers looking out as Joe Gibbs and Kyle Busch thinking about where they stand. Round 1 results, and Busch 5th in the top 12. But what a story, Alex Bowman. You heard the guys talking about it in the booth. Back in early of 2016, he was selling seats. He said to pay his rent, he was like super broke, didn't know what he was going to do and stressing out. Here he's got a ride in the 88 and has a chance if he advances as he moves on to be on the pole for the running of next Sunday's Daytona 500.
Yeah, Chevy, Toyota, Ford, 1, 2, 3 in this session. Chris, separated by just a little over 1/10 of a second. It's so amazing the way these cars are so evenly matched. It's going to make for some great racing.
Jeffrey Earnhardt rounding out 35th. Denny Hamlin currently second, and the only Toyota to have a Daytona 500 title, as Denny Hamlin has won that. You're a two-time winner. Early observations from round one here as we get ready to have that 12 advance.
Well, just how perceptive the garage area is. They said the 88's going to get the pole. I can just guarantee you that. And I thought, well, that's bold. And Denny Hamlin jumped up there and only missed it by a couple hundredths. This second round, things could change, Chris. The way your car reacts to the heat that's in it could produce more speed for some of the cars.
On a sunny, warm, breezy day, let's check in with Matt Yoka. Matt?
And talking a lot about speed here, you were doing a great imitation of Michael Waltrip with the hands. Positivity, reigning supreme down here. You tweeted a picture saying, let's make the next 40 weeks the best of your career. And so far, you're showing tremendous speed. What's up?
I have no idea, honestly. I swear to you, I thought I'd be 15th to 20th. We completely are in full race trim. I mean, it's you know, we really focused on drafting yesterday. Try to get in all the packs that we could to make sure our FedEx Express Camry was going to race good, not only today but next week in the duels and in the 500. So just an outstanding effort by everyone on our team to get us a car that, you know, hopefully can contend for the front row here.
Denny, all up, exceeding expectations early on. Let's go to Jamie Little.
Well, Eric Almirola just gets bumped and misses, moving on to the second round. But the good news for Daytona 500 qualifying, you can better your position, of course, on Thursday in the duels. Do you feel like you got everything out of the car?
Yeah, I mean, we're qualifying at Daytona, so I did my part. I held it wide open and drove around the racetrack. I felt like the guys on the team did a great job. They fluffed and buffed on it last night, and we ran exactly what we thought we would run with our Smithfield Ford Fusion. So proud of everybody at Stewart Haas Racing. Now we get to go race. I think most weekends, you'd interview me. If we missed the final round, I'd be a little disappointed. But here we get to go race still and get to better our starting spot for the Daytona 500. So I'm just looking forward to go race. All this build up all off season, you know, you come down here, it's kind of a slow day today qualifying, and so I'm ready for Thursday. Thanks.
Good to see him up, moving around, and Alex Bowman just under, as he leads in round one, just under 195 miles per hour. And you said when we first came on, you thought that would be the number. Still the number here that you think will nail it down?
Yeah, I think he can pick up a 1/2 I think the car will be a little bit quicker in this round due to the fact that all the fluids have heated up and the bearings are warmer. He could go a little bit faster. It's going to be interesting to see, though, Chris, which one of these guys pick up most, because they're real close right at the top. You pick up a 1/10 of a second, you could be on the pole.
You heard Mike Joy talk about an Earnhardt name continuing in the Daytona 500. Let's check in with Jeffrey Earnhardt standing by.
And he is Dale Jr.'s nephew, of course. So in the offseason, we all heard you lost your sponsor. We didn't think we'd see you on track, and here you are. You made it happen. How did it all come together?
Yeah, you know, it's tough, you know, when you get the news that, you know, the team you're with is going to, you know, part ways. But, you know, we just went back to working really hard. You know, everyone with my company, JEI, and everyone, we started looking at all the opportunities that were out there and trying to figure out what the best opportunity was. And, you know, Starcom Racing ended up acquiring the charter from the 27 team, and, you know, they discussed, you know, their equipment and stuff that they had in mind and what they were looking to do. And, you know, we had a little bit of sponsorship with VRX simulators, and they're also looking to do a lot more. So, you know, it just all made sense to make the move there. And, you know, our opportunities were very slim, but, you know, you're very thankful for them when you get put in those situations. So I keep telling everyone I'd hate to have been the reason to stop the streak of Earnhardt being here at the 500. So luckily we made it here, and we're not that fast in qualifying, but we were decent in the draft. I'm looking forward to getting to the 500.
True racer, working hard off track to get the sponsors to be here today, and then he has to drive the car, Chris.
All right, thank you, Jamie and Jeffrey. So 40 straight years of an Earnhardt in the Daytona 500. Michael, you had a run of how many for the Waltrips? 30?
I ran 30 Daytona 500s, and I love what Jeffrey said. Once this race starts, you can get up there and mix it up. He'll do just that.
Long story short, you're probably fine. I gotta go. Sorry, man.
No worries, we're not late.
Go, go, go.
There he is.
Nice shoes.
Yeah, those are cool. Let's do this. Come on.
Every day, people are fighting type 2 diabetes with fitness, food, and the pill that starts with F. Farxiga, along with diet and exercise, helps lower blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes, lowering A1C by up to 1.2 points.
Do not take if allergic to Farxiga. If you experience symptoms of a serious allergic reaction such as rash, swelling, difficulty breathing or swallowing, stop taking and seek medical help right away. Do not take Farxiga if you have severe kidney problems, are on dialysis, or have bladder cancer. Tell your doctor right away if you have blood or red color in your urine, or pain while you urinate. Farxiga can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, genital yeast infections in women and men, serious urinary tract infections, low blood sugar, and kidney problems. Stop taking Farxiga and call your doctor right away if you have signs of ketoacidosis, which is serious and may lead to death.
Ask your doctor about the pill that starts with F and visit Farxiga.com for savings. If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
The running of the bulldogs? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Aaliyah saved by switching to Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
My heart's racing. Let's go chase her down. Don't you wanna see just what this love can do?
Daytona 500 pole qualifying is sponsored by Toyota. Let's go places. Live from Daytona International Speedway, Michael Waltrip. We have Larry McReynolds, our crew chief, standing by. And what did you notice about the top 12 we talked? They used to have a dog track right nearby here. Now it's closer.
They brought the cars out and got them dog track, and you can see the left rear of Truex's car. It's slightly outside of the left front. That's an effort to keep that rear spoiler from seeing the air when it goes through the corners. And it's working. It means speed for these cars. You can see again, Boyer is over that way. I talked to some of the crew chiefs in the garage area, and they said, we're not going to go for a qualifying package. Bowman, I think, has the most over to the left. See how far that left rear tire's out? Some of the crew chiefs said, we're not going to do that. Talked to Rodney Childers. He said, we think we're ready to race. We think we've got a good car for race trim. I don't see, Larry McReynolds, as much dog tracking in this 4 car as I saw in the others. Are they going to be able to race that way come Thursday?
Michael, I think that's what's going to make the dual races so interesting on Thursday as we run for 150 miles. But yeah, let's take a look at our Ford cutaway car here, and I'm going to show you basically what they're doing. Remember, I talked about that rear spoiler at the rear of the car back there. So what they're basically doing is skewing the car to get this right rear corner out of the air. That helps the straightaway drag. What are they doing and how they're doing it? It has to do with the track bar right here. Because what happens, the track bar is hooked to the body and to the frame over here. So if you've got that track bar level and you travel this down, what it does, it pulls this over to the left and gets that body out in the right. I think you can get some of that out, even though it's an impound race, because a lot of it has to do with the driver adjustable track bar. He's doing some of it in the car, not all of it. But again, it's going to make the duels very interesting on Thursday.
And we'll look for that on FS1. Round 2, all 4 Hendrick Chevrolet Camaros made the final round. Same with Joe Gibbs Toyotas. And we'll have that coming up.
So from the 2 trucks over here, I want you to pick a new truck for your mom or dad, knowing that they could possibly pass it down to you one day. Cool. But before you decide, you should know that Chevy Silverados are the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups on the road. Which means that Ford F-150s are not. Which truck would you pick?
The Chevy. The Chevy? The Chevy.
There you go. Boom.
That was obvious. It plus looks cooler.
No doubt about it. Now they know what to get me.
The most anticipated moment in racing. One of the great scenes in all of sports.
We don't run from our fears.
sales event. Get $2,750 total cash allowance on the 2018 Dodge Challenger.
And here you have an on-me-inspired fried chicken sandwich. You'd never find this at a fast food restaurant. It's a good thing.
Is that right, Martha? Why don't you try my Asian fried chicken sandwich? Made with crispy fried chicken strips, crunchy Asian slaw, and a gochujang mayo, all on a toasted baguette.
Security, get him!
What, you afraid of a little competition?
You want to go to war with me, Jack? Do you really?
Oh my gosh, what? I can't stop! I can't stop! Introducing my food truck-inspired sandwiches, only at Jack in the Box.
It's Ram Truck Month, so long live the trucks with best-in-class 30,000 pounds of fifth-wheel towing. Best-in-class fuel economy. And class-exclusive Rambox storage. They don't just inspire passion, they keep it growing stronger. Hurry in for a great deal during Ram Truck Month.
Now get an average $13,012 in total values on the 2017 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab.
State Farm knows it's more than a truck, so why not give it the protection it deserves?
When it comes to showing love, some use rose petals. At Papa John's, we use pepperonis. A lot of pepperonis. We're using 2 whole layers of them on our large or pan dual-layer pepperoni pizza. Available now for just $10. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Why are these men laughing? Joe Gibbs on the left, Rick Hendrick on the right. They each brought 4 cars to Daytona, and all 8 of them moved to the final round of Daytona 500 qualifying. 4 Toyotas for Gibbs, 4 Chevrolets for Hendrick. Eric Jones getting ready. He'll be the second driver on the clock, so the first round times are erased for these 12 drivers. Again, they go out slowest to fastest from round 1. Chase Elliott trying to win another Daytona 500 pole.
Rick Hendrick and Joe Gibbs are smiling now, but they're very competitive.
Oh, yeah.
If one of their cars is not on the pole, they're not going to be smiling.
They're very hands-on, both of them. They're totally committed and involved with their race teams. But you may say, why would the cars go faster in this round? The one big thing is fluids. Once you get the rear end grease and the transmission and everything about the end, all that stuff warmed up, you're going to pick up a little bit of speed.
Well, I'm curious to see what the wind does, how the wind affects, because all it could take is a gust of wind, a gust at the tail to give you a little extra speed down the back straightaway, or a gust of wind at the nose of the car to stall you out coming off of turn 4.
See a little speed and steering angle in our telemetry as Elliott comes off turn number 2. He's run 2 Daytona 500s. He has never not won the pole for this race.
What a record! That's a record right there. Oh, man.
Wow, 197 into turn 3.
Just imagine what these cars are going to do in the draft. 200 plus easy.
I think one of the things I saw was when we had the in-car cameras, some drivers are driving their cars smooth into the corner. Others were kind of having to throw their car in the corner, and I think that's making a little wee bit of a difference.
46.413. That is a full 1/10 of a second faster than his lap in round 1.
And I think that's probably what we'll see across the board. That's just the fluids being warmer, everything kind of warmed up, ready to go.
Yeah. He's not going to, I don't think he's going to experience what it's going to be like to be on the pole, though, this year.
Well, many were surprised at the end of last season when Joe Gibbs Racing said goodbye to former champion Matt Kenseth and filled the seat in the number 20 with Eric Jones, moving him over from satellite team Furniture Row Racing. Jones, though, young driver with a lot of potential, the defending Rookie of the Year.
And got a tailwind down the back. Saw that flag there as it went through the corner. And you look at that old tachometer, and boy, she creeps up there, and you think, I got something going here.
Yeah, when Eric Jones rolled off into turn 1, the flag started to stand up, and that gust started picking up down the back straightaway. See if that affects him, though, as he comes off of turn 4. Certainly he's going to go to the top of the chart here.
Pretty good lap.
The DeWalt Camry, 46.27.
Right
he
there.
picks up 2.5 of a second.
Yes, sir, right there.
Elliott's Napa Chevrolet picked up 1/10 from round 2 to round
And Mike, I said,
1 to 2.
Yesterday I thought this kid's going to win multiple races. I believe in that car, that team, that Eric Jones is going to win multiple races in 2018. And there's another guy. Here's another one of my kind of I don't know if you can't call him an underdog, but he's kind of one of my pre-race favorites, is Paul Menard in this 21 car. I believe that car's got a couple of wins in it.
Trying to win the Wood Brothers 100th race. They've been in NASCAR since the sport began. Menard with crew chief Greg Irwin has one top 10 start in the 500.
And Menard's been a lot of places, but I believe this is a place that really fits Paul Menard's personality. I think the team and everything just fits his style. I think he's going to really impress you this year with the job he does in that 21 car.
Yeah, his family has a history of being involved in motorsports. Tie that to a family, the Wood Brothers, that's been a part of NASCAR for so many years in their history. Great match.
So the Omnicare Ford, 46.58 for Menard. He loses a tenth of a second compared to round one.
Yeah, I'm looking at Eric Jones right now, almost 2.5 tenths of a gain. That's a good pickup. That's a great job to that team, managing those temperatures, managing the oils. You see Joey Logano again, that hand up towards the window.
Just don't like quick movements. I think when you see a quick movement, it's buffing speed out of the car. You got to be gentle and smooth getting into the corner and through the corner.
Logano has started the 500 in the top 5 twice for crew chief Todd Gordon.
You see, he definitely lost some speed, sort of scrubbed speed off as he put wheel into it coming off the exit of turn 2. And it just continues to fall all the way down the back straightaway, even though there is a bit of a tailwind. That flag's swirling all over the place here in the infield as we look out there. It's hard to really guess what direction the wind's blowing.
The 2015 Daytona 500 winner puts his hand up to try to block the air coming in and be a little more arrow coming down that straightaway. He is third of 4. 46.43, falls off 1/100th of a second from round 1.
I don't think that team, I don't think he will be disappointed with this qualifying effort today. That's going to turn out to be not too bad for them.
The only thing, DW, is as we documented the skew and these cars, getting to the left with that rear spoiler, that is going to have to play out in the way these cars drive next week. So you want to be on the front row. You want to be locked in to the field to not have to worry about what goes on in that Thursday dual race.
Jimmy Johnson on it. 2-time pole sitter, 2-time 500 winner. In fact, he's the only driver in the field to have won the 500 more than once. Boy, that hasn't happened since Bill Elliott, 1993.
You can see, Mike, as he comes off turn 4, you start to see that tracker back up a little bit, but he's still got a little in the bank here and gaining some back. Once he comes in front of the grandstand, that helps.
Picks up on the run from turn 4 to the flag, 46.21. He is 2 tenths faster than round 1.
That's right there with what Bowman and those guys ran. They ran 18, so that's a good lap, really good lap.
I think you're going to have to pick up at least 2 tenths. Of course, if Bowman picks up 2 tenths, it's going to...
Well, that's 194 miles an hour, and if Bowman picks up a couple of tenths, he'll be 195 miles an hour. That's pretty fast by yourself.
Kevin Harvick will be the 6th driver to make an attempt in round 2. He's looking for his 2nd front row start in the 500. Stewart Haas Racing.
Did I say pretty fast? That's not pretty fast.
I was going to say, I'm blown away at these speeds and how much they picked up with an extra ½ inch of spoiler. It just goes to show you the engineering, ingenuity, horsepower, all the things that these teams do. When you give these race teams a couple months to think about it, pretty amazing how creative they can become to find speed.
Right now, it's a Chevy Toyota front row, Johnson and Jones. Harvick trying to muscle his Ford up there.
I think regardless of whether this team and Kevin Harvick are on the front row for the Daytona 500, they're going to be a team to beat for the 500 in the race.
Yeah, I agree.
Third for the Jimmy Johns Ford of Harvick, 46.28. He was 14/100ths faster than round 1, but not enough for the front row, and it's only the front row that gets locked in today.
And as you saw with Daniel Suarez in that high lane in 3 and 4, it's a lot rougher up there, and you'll see a lot more bouncing happening with his helmet. So tells you a little bit about the different lanes that these drivers are going to be running and how it affects the car.
Just don't like the way that car, looking at his hands, just don't like the way he has to snatch that thing to the left to get it down in the corner.
Well, and again, I think if you follow that yellow line all the way to the corner, you're going to have to at some point make a pretty abrupt move. I always like to give a little bit more room as you got in the corner and anticipate so you didn't have to do that quick feed.
Yeah, because that's bumping a little bit of speed out of that car when you throw it like that.
When I had pole-winning cars down here, it didn't matter what I did inside there.
It'll be the second Daytona 500 for Daniel Suarez, and he is third, 46.28. That's more than a tenth better than he ran in round one.
He beat Harvick by 1/1000.
I like the dash in that car. The dashes have really come a long way.
Fans Kroger Click List and Tide are giving away $1 million to a lucky fan if A.J. Allmendinger or teammate Chris Buescher should win the 500. Enter to win by posting with hashtag WinWithClickList and hashtag TideOxyPower on social media. For complete rules and prizes, you can visit jtgdohertyracing.com. Kyle Busch will be the 8th of 12 drivers to take to the clock in round 2.
He's also using that same method that we saw with Joey Logano. I think I may have seen a couple others that were in this top 12 do the same thing. Look, he's just trying to block that air, that opening, to keep as little air from getting inside the car, creating pressure to slow down the car and creating drag.
He's doing it all the way around the track. He's not just doing it on the straightaway. He was holding it in the turn.
And he knocks his young teammate off the front row. Second for Kyle Busch, 46.22. 14/100ths faster than round one.
There's no one that's ever sat in a race car, I don't care who he is, that's got more car control and more feel for a race car than Kyle Busch does. I mean, he is an incredible, I just think he's an incredible wheelman.
And he also will do anything it takes to win.
That's right.
We could call him Red Byron, but that was the name of NASCAR's first champion in 1949.
We're going to search and find something for William.
I think we just ought to stick with William for now.
Literary in our production crew would like to call him Lord Byron, but that's a horse of a different color. Let's just call him William.
I think we'll just stick with William.
Xfinity Series champion. Won so many races in the Truck Series the year before, they had to change the rules on how you make the playoffs because he missed it. And before that, he was a terror in Legends cars, beginning at age of 15, 2012.
I think what makes him so great, he is detail-oriented. As Larry McReynolds like to say, he dots every I and crosses every T, and he doesn't leave any stone unturned.
Third at 46.26, a pickup of 6/100ths from round one, but not quite enough for the front row.
When you call him a student of the sport, in so many more ways than one, because he truly is a student.
I wonder if he gets college credit for that. He's a sophomore at Liberty University, Virginia.
If he keeps doing what he's been doing the last few years, he's going to start teaching classes.
He spent time with his spotter because he wanted them to be on the same page. He studies the dashboard in the car. So many little details that he's aware of.
3 drivers to go. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has spent his entire Cup career, 6 years, with Roush Fenway Racing. First in the 6, and the last 5 seasons in the number 17. He was 3rd fastest in round 1.
Doesn't seem to be showing the pickup that we've seen from some of the other teams in this second round.
No, not at all.
Made the playoffs last year, finished a career best 13th in the final standings. Nope, 7th. For Ricky Stenhouse, he falls 7/100ths of a second off of his round 1 time.
Yeah, they got everything out of it in round 1.
Yeah, well,
didn't leave anything out. They're on the table for round 2.
And then there were 2. The 2 fastest drivers in the first round, Denny Hamlin and Alex Bowman. Hamlin, the veteran, the 2016 Daytona 500 winner, and 4-time top 5 finisher. He's never sat on the front row for the 500. His best start is 4th.
And when that camera moves, it makes me go, oh!
Well, I can tell you, the competition does not want to see Denny Hamlin on the front row because he is absolutely one of the best, probably one of the favorites. It's building. He's going into the green. I think there's no doubt he's going to be on that front row. It's just whether or not he's going to be on the pole. But that That's not good for the competition. They're not going to like that.
Hamlin has never won a pole at Daytona or Talladega, NASCAR's 2 restrictor plate tracks.
Well, he's going to have a shot at one here today because it's going to be a whale of a lap. A lot.
46-13. Got that right. 7 100ths better than round 1 and 8 100ths faster than Jimmy Johnson.
Last thing you need to do is build his confidence up anymore at Daytona.
No kidding.